Well, it's post All-Ireland final. We don't have a winner. Some would say, in one sense, Dublin may have won that one. In another sense, Kerry may have won it. But the replay, we were just discussing it there. Do you see Kerry winning a replay?
Oh, look, I mean, they'll have a great chance.
That's the most Peter Keane start.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in Peter Keane mode. I don't think I could ever get into that mode. I think Kerry will feel that when they sit down, they'll go, okay, we definitely had more goal chances. 40 minutes playing against 14 men. If you were to ask anyone, they would have said, yeah, they'd finish it out. But at the same time, they will take massive confidence from this. One of the things that was being kind of, I suppose, pointed towards the team was the youth and how young they were and the inexperience. I think there was 10 or 11 guys starting in their first All-Ireland final today. So they will go home on the bus and it will have probably started straight away in the dressing room of, that's it, we can match these. Never mind the extra man. The extra man doesn't count. They'll just play on it. And what they'll do is they'll fill them with such confidence that they'll believe that they can come in 2 weeks' time and have a rattle off Dublin again. And they will.
I was struck by the All-Ireland hurling final. Obviously, Richie Hogan got the red card and was sent off just before half-time. Today we saw the same thing again with Johnny Cooper, a red card, and he was gone. And on a human level, you'd be thinking, well, at least for Johnny Cooper, he gets a second go now, that he doesn't have to carry that we lost an All-Ireland final, the drive for 5 on this, whereas Richie Hogan's probably going to have a long winter thinking if that hadn't happened or this hadn't happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does it play on you when you do get red carded and sent off and games change?
It can do, and he'll go around to all the players and he'll say thank you very much for bailing me out, but that's just, look, everyone is in together. Johnny Cooper has done massive things for Dublin in the past where he has saved fellas bacon, and he has been man of the match in performances. So look, you take the rough with the smooth. I think Gavin will probably look at himself and say, you know what, we probably left him on Clifford for too long. I think he was spooked by Clifford. I think you could see that early on. I think he was spooked by the fact of he probably knew he was going to be on Clifford all week, and it was probably playing on his mind. How am I going to play him? Am I going to play him from the front? Do I have to be physical with him? And Cooper is generally a very kind of demonstrative character. He's usually in your face a lot, and I didn't really see that. So it's all good and well thinking you're going to play against a guy, but then when you actually stand beside him, and Clifford is quite a big specimen, and you see his ability, his speed, his turns, that then all of a sudden you kind of can get a little bit cautious. And I think he was rash in a couple of things. I think it was a definite sending off. He had probably personally fouled him 4 or 5 times, and the accumulation of that got him the red card. I think they'll learn from that though, Dublin. Now, who do they deploy on Clifford the next day? Do they let him have another go of it? Probably not. But again, Kerry have enough up front to give those Dublin backs issues. And I really don't see the solving of that situation on the Dublin bench. Like, they brought Merchant in today, who's very, very speedy, but he's quite a small player. They didn't use Philly McMahon. I didn't see him warming up, and they didn't warm up Keane O'Sullivan. So I think the Dublin bench, from a defensive point of view, is a bit threadbare, to be honest, especially with pace, especially with a bit of speed. Yes, they've bigger guys who can come on and see out a game, but if they need to bring some lads in to really put out fires, I think they'll be struggling. So Kerry, I think for the next day, what's massively important for them is they probably need to start with their strongest team. Now, you might say, well, what kind of statement is that? But I think they finished with a lot of guys who are really good at going forward. Sherwood, okay. And I think they really need to go to them, because Dublin will look to blow them away in that first 15-20 minutes of the replay. They'll really look to dominate them, and Dublin will feel that, okay, we get out of jail there, so we really have to take our chance the next day.
When you were watching it, we could see, some of the Kerry, I don't know if it was youth or a little bit of naivety. You were discussing some of the decisions they made, especially coming up to the end of the game. Questionable. Easy for us to say, we're sitting up in the stand watching them, we're not feeling that white heat of battle. At the same time, I'm thinking, if you're Jim Gavin, you're probably there thinking, he played Diarmuid Connolly. Does that, to you, illustrate a sign of things are going wrong here? I need to press the nuclear button? Because when you were saying, if they don't have that many defenders, and if you feel their bench is threadbare, we would see Diarmuid Connolly as a forward, but he's a big man, he could fall back as well. Yeah,
he could. I think, I was mentioning this to you prior to the game starting, where you look at some of the fellas who didn't get into the 26, and what does that create in the dynamic of the whole squad? Bernard doesn't make it, O'Gara doesn't make it. Rory O'Carroll is a different situation, but certain guys who don't make it, and Connolly does make it. Now Connolly has made it on that X factor, the thing that he could have easily kicked the equalising point or the winning point. He kicked two, one just pulled wide off the outside of his right boot, and he probably is that type of situation. If an emergency break glass, throw him in. The dynamic, I'd say they've gotten over that, whatever it is. Even if it was an issue, they've gotten over it. I think what for Jim Gavin, I think a situation is he threw his hand at it. He brought Costello on, he brought him on, he brought McMenamin on. So he loaded on with his forwards to try and get a score. But obviously Paddy Small came on too. But the man who stood up for them at the end of it was Dean Rock. Dean Rock got the equalising score. Could have got the winning score, although it was a very, very difficult shot. But Dublin, I thought, I was really impressed with them in that last 7, 8, 9 minutes. Like, they squeezed right up on Kerry. As a matter of fact, Cluxton actually came out and marked Tommy Walsh on a few occasions. So they pushed right up, very, very high risk. But they said, we're going to squeeze them in here, we're going to turn them over. And they must have turned them over 4 or 5 times. Bit of naivety by Kerry, to be honest with you. They kept running down bad channels. They should have kept it wide and tried to get the ball up the far end and play the game actually up in Dublin's end. But instead they probably decided to hold on to the ball a bit early, and they were very nearly caught. I'd say that they'll feel, if Keane's being really honest with himself, he probably goes home and thinks, that was the one we let slip. But at the same time, he would be geeing up the players and saying, you were 6-1 before the game. No one gave you a chance. Everyone said, what's the point of even coming up here? Now you see the point, and the thing is that we can go toe to toe with them, and we're going to even get better for the next day.
I'm going to put you on the spot now before you even had time to think about it and process everything that happened today. One word, who's going to win the replay?
I can't answer that. I really can't. I have too much to process at the moment. I have to watch it again.
So you're going to go respecting the process like Jim Gavin?
Correct. And I'm sitting on the fence.
There you go. Championship fence sitting here with Anthony Moyles. We've got a replay to look forward to in just under 2 weeks' time. What's going to happen, as they say down in Kerry? Yarra, who knows? Gormila Margaret, Anthony.